Hey, this is Charles Band from Full Moon, and you're listening to the Horror Squad podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast. This is episode number 318, where tonight we are going to be talking about 2007's The Mist. I am here, of course, as always, with Todd and Steve. And Steve, this was your pick this week,
Yes,
correct?
It was. I'm very excited. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, mostly because of the end, but also it's one of my favorite director slash author combos. I mean, Frank Darabont, ex Stephen King, that's Shawshank, Green Mile, and this. I mean, fuck.
Plus all the Walking Dead alumni.
Yeah, right. Because
too, so.
Frank Darabont did Walking Dead season 1 and 2, right? So yeah, I'm excited to do this one. And I think there's a lot to discuss in this one as well. So it should be a fun discussion.
Excellent. Well, other than that, gentlemen, how was your week? Anything fun or just going through life?
Nothing out of the ordinary, thankfully. So same old stuff, which is also good.
Right. I am
Surprises.
old. I am feeling old these days. I'm ripping up the carpet in the basement of my new house. And man, like bending over like that constantly and like ripping carpet and
Hurting your knees, dude.
My knees, my back, like everything. It's so it's just not the same anymore. So hopefully this is the last time I have to do something like this.
You're not a carpet guy. That's right. That's the first thing you ever do, huh?
Every house I've had, the first thing I do is rip out the carpet.
Zero carpet everywhere?
Well, I have like a rug, but
Okay.
no carpet. No carpet. None.
I like a little carpet myself.
You're a carpet guy?
You like it? No, I like it bare.
Steve likes it raw. He likes it. I mean, in like the rooms, it's always nice to get out of bed and have a nice little carpet.
Yeah, you could put area rugs though.
Yeah,
that way you get the hardwood underneath.
It's the cleaning thing that I just don't like. Dealing with the carpet in that way. That's what I really hate about it. I guess it gets too dirty. I mean, I'm ripping this one out. I'm seeing what it looks like. Now that it's like being moved around and under and stuff. It's like ugh.
Human particles and stuff.
Yeah.
Skin cells.
Fucking Cheeto dust. like all sorts of shit.
Especially if you're a pet owner too, man. Having rugs are the worst. It's just like oof.
Although then you get with the hard floor, you get all those hairballs that you can just ignore for 3 days.
Yes.
That's what my Roomba's for.
Very true.
Yes. Take that stuff.
Welcome back to the rug podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right.
I bet there's a rug podcast. There has to be.
Well, my Roomba our Roomba is called Jean Jacket and for Nope. So there you go. We had a horror reference there.
Mine's name's Corey, but not related to Halloween Ends. It's just Corey. I don't know why.
Mine's a Doom Buggy. So
Doom Buggy, nice.
Yeah,
nice, awesome. All right, well, let's get off rug and Roomba talk here and start talking a little horror and what we've been watching this week, gentlemen. Who wants to start us off?
I'll go.
Go.
All right. So my first one this week is a 2023 movie that I watched over on Tubi and is the final, for now, part of my Subspecies series watch. It is Subspecies 5, Blood Rise, which is the last one made, but they tease another one, so I think it will continue at some point. So, of course, this is by Full Moon. And this one, they actually decide to do a prequel, so it shows kind of how Radu Vladislav becomes the kind of revered vampire that he is in the series. It goes all the way back to when Christianity was starting and things like that, and it just goes through the different generations as he makes new vampires and he gets stronger and stronger, and he starts to go more and more into the dark side because he does start off kind of human and then slowly decays over time into the Radu that we know in the Subspecies movies. I had very low expectations, if I'm going to be honest with you, not because I don't like the Subspecies series. I think it's a pretty decent series, but more because it's a Full Moon film in 2023. And having seen anything Full Moon in the last 10 years, I just have low expectations going in because everything has been absolute shit. But to be honest, this is the Full Moon that I know and love. This is the Full Moon that we should be getting all the time. I talked about on news a couple weeks ago, I think, that Full Moon is having like a split division that's going to work on more horror type content. And I believe this is the first one that kind of spearheaded that movement. And it shows because this is actually horror. I would actually say this is the best subspecies film out of the whole series, which is surprising. It's got great effects, great vampires, a great story. Anders Kove, who plays Radu, is fucking fantastic in this whole series. And I think he's one of the underrated horror characters, in my opinion. I gave it 3 out of 5, which is pretty much what I gave a lot of the series, but I do think it is a little bit better than the other films in the series. So if you want to check it out, it is on Tubi. That's 2023's Subspecies 5.
The best Full Moon franchise, or would you give it to Puppet Master still?
Oh, franchise, yeah, I think Puppet Master. But although there's a lot of crap in Puppet Master too, in the
There
later
is.
times, like this one's at least consistent. Like there isn't a bad subspecies in my opinion. Like none of them are great either, but there's none where I'm like, wow, that was fucking awful, you know. So I'll give it that for the subspecies. So I think it's worthy of a watch if you like Full Moon stuff.
All right. Or Ginger Dead Man, you know, it's I
Yeah,
don't think
or
there hasn't been a
Evil
miss in that
Bob.
franchise. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go next. I am preparing for Monster Mania coming up in just a couple weeks, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Hopefully, maybe I'll see some of you guys out there for that. They are doing a 40th year anniversary of Children of the Corn, and I haven't seen it in forever. So, and I know most likely there will be a panel. So I was like, let me check it out and revisit it because it's been so long. And yeah, Children of the Corn, pretty basic plot. Basically, a group of kids that decide to just sort of take over the town one day by murdering all of the parents in this Nebraskan, I believe it is, small town. And they just, from there, they just decide to run the town. And Linda Hamilton and her boyfriend are on like some sort of road trip, and they end up having car trouble, I believe. Or no, they hit one of the kids who's trying to escape, and from there they end up in the town of Gatlin, I believe is what it is called, and meet all of the crazy kids, and they must survive the craziness of the children. I gotta say, man, this movie to me like held up really, really well. I loved just seeing a young Linda Hamilton was great because but and her and the lead here guy, they do like a great job of they do a good job of sort of playing the hero characters in here, but obviously the best and most interesting part is the characters of Malachi and Isaac and their sort of power struggle, I should say. Isaac is the one, I believe, I'm sorry, Isaac is the one in control, and Malachi sort of doesn't agree with him. And just watching them sort of going back and forth is really, really interesting and cool. The small town feel is really cool. And just the intro to this movie is fucking insane with the kids just finally going off and killing all the parents. It's pretty shocking, especially like back then. I can't imagine what the reaction was for it. It's nothing. I never read like the Stephen King story this is based off of, which I don't know if it was a short story or a novel. Steve will probably know better than me. But, as the movie holds up, I think it holds up still really well. Probably the best Children of the Corn movie, because after that, like, I mean, there's like 15 of them now, and most of them are dog shit. But for the first one, it's solid.
Alrighty. My first one is my homie TJ's pick for movie night, and it's Eyes of a Stranger, 1981, which a film I had never seen before, and it stars a very young Jennifer Jason Leigh. She plays like a blind and deaf younger person, 20s or something like that. And she lives with her sister, who's like a news reporter. And there's this fucking rapist / murderer going around and, doing his thing. And the reporter like kind of figures it out. She's investigating it. The men in like the town, or not the town, the men in like the news agency are kind of like annoyed that she's taking it so seriously. And she's like, fuck it, I'm going to figure it out. Right. So she starts stalking people and like finding out who the killer is and all that. She narrows it down, of course, but no one believes her until one day she finds a guy's number like and calls him. She's like, I know what you're fucking doing, motherfucker. Blah, blah, blah. Big mistake, because the guy watches the news and he recognizes her voice on the fucking TV and he's like, motherfucker. So he knows where she lives now, and he ends up sneaking into her house in a fucking excellent scene where it's only Jason Lee, who's disabled, blind, and all that stuff, in the house with him, and he's like kind of sneaking around, kind of like in Silence of the Lambs when Jodie Foster's like sneaking around Buffalo Bill. Is it Buffalo fucking Bob or Bill? I'm having a mind blank
Bill,
here.
huh?
Bill, where he's messing around with his night vision goggles stuff. So kind of like that scene, really effective, really scary. You feel for her because she's like, at a like great disadvantage. So I'll leave it at that. It's an excellent film, man. It's a solid 3.5 out of 5. I do wish we had more from Jennifer Jason Lee because although I still felt for her character at the end, where she's at the guy's mercy, I think she should have been a little bit more in the film so we get to know her character a little bit better so we can have that bigger connection. Other than that, I thought it was freaking really cool. So Eyes of a Stranger, I think you can get it on Prime for a fee, but I mean, blind by this one, I think you really like it.
Nice. My last one this week is a movie from 1986 that was featured on The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs, and that is Vamp, which I watched over on Tubi. So Vamp is the story of two guys, and they're trying to get into a fraternity, and it's like a really weird fraternity where they're pretending to do like these horror rituals and stuff like that, but it doesn't work out. So they're like, we don't really want you in our fraternity. So they say, okay, we're gonna make a deal. We're gonna get something for you, anything you want to let us into this frat. And of course, what they want is a stripper. So they go into town and they go into a kind of shady part of that town. They run into a gang of vampires. They don't know that, but a gang of people who are vampires get into a fight with them and then kind of beat them up. So they kind of run away and they find the first strip club that they can to go get a stripper to bring back with them to the frat house. And they go into this bar, and it's a bar that happens to be full of vampires, and a bunch of crazy shit ensues. And that's pretty much the story. It's them trying to work their way out of the strip club, and also not really being able to go outside because that gang of vampires is now hunting them there as well. So they're neither safe on either end of the spectrum. And that's kind of the gist of the story. I had never seen this one. I only watched it because it was on The Last Drive-In, and it's all right. It was like enjoyable for a one-time watch. The vampires look cool. I like they're kind of a scarier looking vampire. They got the really colorful characters and stuff like that, which I enjoyed. The head vampire, I think it's cool. Unfortunately, I don't think we see her enough or what she can do enough. The things that are lacking is two things you would expect in a movie like this. One, I don't feel there's enough horror in it, and two, I don't feel there's enough smut in it because it's just set in a strip club and you don't get like a lot of boobs and stuff like that, which is just it's just odd to me. Like, it doesn't work. I think if you're gonna set it in the strip club, you need to kind of bring the smut up a little bit. And yeah, I think that was a disappointment. It's still a decent film. I'd recommend people check it out if they like vampire stuff. And it kind of says it's a comedy. I didn't really laugh all that much. It's not a haha type comedy, so it's kind of just one of those goofy college movies from the 80s. So I gave it 3 out of 5. I think it's worth a watch, but nothing I'd watch again probably. So that's Vamp, 1986, over on Tubi.
Alrighty. My last one tonight is a wrap up of True Detective Night Country. Last night was the season finale of season 4 of True Detective. So this season stars Jodie Foster, and it was about essentially a group of scientists in Alaska who go missing, and then they are found dead, which isn't really a spoiler because this happens in the very first episode. But and then it's basically them trying to find out, what happened to these scientists in Alaska. I will say the last 2 episodes, the first 4 episodes, man, I thought about jumping off because it's a slow go. It's a slow mover. Not a lot was happening. But I think they did a really good job of sticking the landing in episodes 5 and 6. It's only a 6 episode season, so it is very short. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I'd say it was like worth it to me. But is it the best season of True Detective? Definitely not. I mean, season 1 was, in my opinion, like a masterpiece of everything, like filmmaking and acting and stuff like that. The acting in this season was solid for sure, by Jodie Foster and Callie Race, who played Navarro. She was great in this one. But yeah, I mean, I would rate the season, like a like a 3.5, I guess, out of 5 if I were to rate it. Yeah, I mean, it was decent. Sam loved it though, so she was like obsessed with it. So I think if you are into, there were a lot of nods to The Thing in this season, which was really cool. But it definitely wasn't like a horror like type show or anything like that. It was definitely like I thought they were gonna go certain ways with it that were gonna be supernatural and horror, but we ended up not going that way, which I was fine with because it is True Detective. It's not supposed to be sort of a supernatural horror show, but there's definitely some elements in there. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I would say a decent season. One still worth checking out, especially if you are a True Detective fan. Just be forewarned, it is a bit of a slow go, but yeah, I'd say still worth it in the end.
Yeah, season one's a masterpiece, man. That's like
Definitely.
best acting in anything.
Yeah.
McConaughey and what's his
Mhm.
face are really good.
Harrelson, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think about? Did you see season two? What'd you think about that? That's the last. I stopped. After
Definitely a
season
drop
two.
off.
Big
Season
drop
one
off
was just
for
so
me.
good though. It
Right.
was all right. I thought not.
It's hard
great.
to follow up.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
it was-
say, yeah, I mean, I would say this is probably, I haven't watched season 3 yet. I skipped it, but if I were to rank the 3, I would put this one over 2. And
Although I do like Vince Vaughn as a serious actor, though. I think he
yeah,
has the chops for it.
great
Like,
Norman Bates.
was he?
He was Norm, yeah, in the Psycho remake.
No, I mean, I thought you said
yeah.
great.
No,
Norman
no,
Bates.
I mean, I was kidding.
I want to rewatch that though. I don't know. Like
Norman Bates.
I watched it
Yeah.
when it first came out, and it's one I'd like to revisit one day. I'm
Who's
I'm
that?
curious.
Is it
It's
Judy
Ju-
Dench
Gee,
that
Dench? That's Anne Heche.
and
Anne
Heche.
Heche. Where the
Yeah.
fuck who's Judy Dench? I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know.
She's the old lady.
Yeah,
Is she?
she plays the
old
dead
as-
mom. Yeah,
She might be
Yeah.
dead now. I don't know, but
no, she's not.
R.I.P. She is. All right, my last one here is a 1980, in my opinion, classic Zombie Holocaust, aka Dr. Butcher, MD. So New York City, there's like a medical school or whatever, and these bodies keep turning up with missing body parts. What the hell's going on? Then they catch like a native kind of person stealing shit, and they're like, what the fuck? So it opens up like this whole can of worms where, oh, we got to go to this nearby island. If you've seen Zombie, Lucio Fulci Zombie, it's like the same story beats. It's very strange, and they came out in the same year. And I'm like, you should watch, like, if you're gonna watch Zombie Holocaust, like right afterwards, because it's really like it's a good companion piece. But anyway, they go to the island, and not only are there cannibals, like Cannibal Holocaust, and they're eating people, and when they capture someone, they eat them right there. But they're also zombies. This weird doctor is essentially like trying to transfer human brains from body to body, and they create zombies and stuff. So I really like it, man. It's a fun movie. It's not for everyone. It's like Italian zombies are usually a little bit slower, a little more boring than like the American and Korean and Japanese counterparts. But man, I love this movie. Zombie Holocaust, 4 out of 5 for me, and I have no idea if it's streaming anywhere. But you can get it from Severin Films, which is a really good label. So check it out.
Todd, you didn't mention your Punishment movie. I saw you rated it.
Oh, okay. Well, let's bring that up. My punishment for the Super Bowl, zombie ass, Toilet of the Dead, Japanese zombie film that I hated. All right, so fucking Steve. This is like a really good one because it's not like watching Dr. Clown or where the fuck it was called, or Trump versus Illuminati, where you're just like hating your life. Like this one was entertaining. And there was this one scene in particular where this girl's like farting, like the entire film, she's farting. And she goes into like a porta potty outhouse kind of thing, and she like hovers over the toilet, and you see her ass and everything. And then you like go into the toilet and you see like turds floating on the water, and then this zombie slowly comes out and the turds are on his forehead. It's really freaking funny. She shits on his face. He attacks her, and it's like it's wild, man. I don't even know how to describe it. It's called Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead. Just leave it at that. I mean, go check it out on Tubi. I guarantee you'll be entertained. Is it a good movie? Not in my opinion, but it's a solid, like, bad, what the hell am I watching? Good film. And if I watched it in a group, I guarantee I would have had a better time with it. But as it stands, it's a 2 out of 5 for me over on Tubi.
Well, if you
Steve gave it a 4, psychopath.
I was like, if you'd like to watch it in a group, I believe this is Steve's movie club pick for this month. Correct, Steve?
Yeah, that's right. I like to punish everyone while I'm at it. So yeah,
Yeesh.
so the day this episode releases is our monthly movie club, and I picked Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead because I think it is a fun group setting movie because it's fucking wild, man. There are
It's
so
weird.
many things that happen in this movie. I laughed so hard at the last like 5 minutes when her special power comes out. That, oh my god, it was great. So I can't wait to share the love and the farts with our listeners. So all you have to do is be on our Discord, and I'll send a link. It's a Zoom link, and you just watch along, and we chat about it as we watch it, and it's always a lot of fun.
All right, excellent. And how you get to Movie Club? Join our Discord if you haven't already. And yeah, Steve will put out that link in the Movie Club channel every single month, and you can join in a great movie watching experience with a lot of us. So please join
Yes.
the Movie Club every month. We're always looking for new people to join in.
Mhm.
All right, gentlemen. Todd,
Mm.
bust out the book. Let's hear the scores for
Let me
trivia.
flip through the pages here. Okay, in the lead, quarter one is your boy, the dethroned champion from Steve last year at 7 points. Steve at 4, Joe at 2. Quarter number one, we have about a month and 8 week left for this quarter, so I'm not watching fucking Toilet Dead. So let's go. Who would like to lead off? I'll lead off actually. I got it open.
Do it.
All right. So we all know who plays Andy in Child's Play, correct? In the first film.
Yes.
Yes.
But what actor plays him in Child's Play Part 3 from 1991?
Yes. He is someone I've always wanted to meet. I don't think he's ever done a convention though. But I
Names?
don't.
I know you
I
guys
mean,
like names.
Yeah, we're
No.
great at names.
Yeah, I don't know the actor's name there. I just looked this up like recently too, but I definitely do not recall it.
I have no idea.
Well, Justin Whalen.
Hmm.
Shout out to Justin Whalen who needs to do a con. So Joe can get a 8 by 10.
Yes, please.
Any
know
relation
if
to
I
Sean
can-
Whalen?
I don't even know who that is, so I'm gonna guess
From Roach,
Yeah.
People Under the Stairs.
Twister, bunch of
Twister.
Oh,
yeah.
him.
Yeah,
I don't know. Good question.
that'd be awesome.
That goofy looking motherfucker.
Yeah, he's
Who
great. though.
plays Malachi in fucking the movie you were just talking about?
John Franklin.
Okay.
Or
which
is it
one's
no,
the
wait. I
short
always
one?
confuse Malachi and Isaac. All right, Isaac I believe is John Franklin and Malachi is Courtney Gaines
Okay, Courtney
if I'm not
Gaines.
mistaken.
Okay, that's
From-
what I was thinking of. It's
from
different person.
the beloved candy corn, of course.
The yeah. Flawless movie.
Yes. Okay. All right, I'll go next.
All right.
All right. Billy Halleck
Billy
from Thinner,
Thinner.
Stephen King's Thinner,
Uh-huh.
of course, was charged in court with what crime?
Oh,
In
God.
real life?
No,
in the movie?
No, in the movie. What was
Oh,
he charged
he-
with?
Vehicular
for-
assault?
For DUI and vehicular manslaughter.
Correct. I'll give it to you. I don't think he was technically wasn't DUI, but it was vehicular manslaughter. So I will give it to you, Todd.
Thank you. He was getting fucking roadhead.
Yes,
Which-
he
Right.
was.
Yeah, that's
Which
what it was.
happens.
Good
I don't
for
know
him.
how, because he had fucking like
Proud
a
of him.
45-inch gut.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. She found her way. She
She
knew her way around.
put the gun on the back of her head, and I don't know. Moving on.
All right, mine
No,
are
it's
all
not
a little tricky this week, but
Ooh.
I'll narrow down the field considerably for you guys. They're all Stephen King written. movies.
Hold on. I feel bad for Steve because like he knows our fucking law terminology.
Yeah.
In Canada, it's called vehicle assault. I was right.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
Oh, did he say vehicle
I
assault?
did.
mean,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't even hear that. So I don't
Everyone
know.
gets a point.
Yeah, I'll give you both
Alright,
a
Get
point.
both points.
Cool.
I'll give-
We get it. Although
Yeah, all right.
assault means he lived and manslaughter says he died, but whatever.
All right, so all my questions tonight has Stephen King movies or miniseries. Okay.
Lovely.
First, of course, guess the movie by the Parental Guide on IMDb.
Oh, okay.
Sex and nudity.
Mhm.
Oh.
A character makes comments at another character about washing down there, as
Ooh.
well as comments referencing that she knows he secretly masturbates when she isn't looking.
As we all do.
Mm.
Violence and gore. A man has an apparent heart attack and dies. Later, his friends are distraught when crows land on his body and begin pecking at it.
Wow. Okay.
Profanity.
Got that one.
There are some sexual comments made, nothing particularly explicit, Mostly innuendo, including down there, between the sheets, and mommy issues.
Hmm.
I think I got a guess, but I don't want to fucking blow it out right now.
I have a guess too.
Why don't you go?
Right.
So shoot it out there.
Carrie.
Go
Wrong.
ahead. Peer pressure.
All right. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking. A man comments that he wants a morphine milkshake.
Yeah, I think I know what it is, but I'm gonna let you keep going.
Yeah, one more.
All right.
Frightening and intense scenes. A character telekinetically causes rocks and sheets of ice to fall from the sky and pop out of the ground, destroying a neighbor's house. The characters are visibly upset by this, and the scene may disturb some viewers.
Well, I was wrong with what I thought it was. I'll throw it out there though. The Stand.
No.
Okay, fuck me.
You guys want one more guess?
Yeah, the ice one. That should be a telltale sign.
Ice and rocks fall from the sky.
Some rocks, yeah.
Well, also it's
People are distraught.
Yeah, telekinesis is not in a lot of Stephen King movies.
Firestarter?
Wrong. That's what I would have thought too, but no.
What did you say first? What was your first guess, Joe? Was it Carrie?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
He said
You know.
Carrie. He said Carrie and Firestarter.
Thank you, Steven. Shoot, telekinesis. That's should be a dead giveaway.
Should be.
Matilda.
Wrong. So it
Great
is
Stephen King novel, yes.
right. No, it is a Rose Red.
Rose
No.
Red. Never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
Oh, it's decent.
No. I know it's got the girl from Halloween Town.
It does.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh.
Kimberly J. Brown.
Mhm. And it's
Big
a
fan.
mini
You guys are big
series.
fans.
That's actually what I knew her from first. Is from Rose Red.
Nice.
All right, ready?
Yes.
What is the name of the evil organization trying to create more evil in Halloween Part 6, The Curse of Michael Myers from 1995?
I don't know, so I'm just gonna say
The
Silver
organization.
Silver Shamrock would not be correct, Steve.
Shamrock. I know, I figured
It's-
as much, but
But what? Yeah, it's like a group of
The
persons.
Cult of
an
Thorn.
organization.
that might be it.
Correct?
Yeah.
Cult of Thorn. Yeah,
Very
that
nice.
is it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's Cult of Thorn.
Thank you very much. All right. Guess the movie based on the IMDb information.
Okay.
This movie was released in 2007 with a rating of PG-13. Currently sitting at a 6.8 out of 10 on the website. Directed by Mikhail Halfstrom. Cast: Mary McCormick, Tony Shalhoub, and Isaiah Whitlock Jr. Tagline: Nobody lasts more than an hour. Any guesses?
13 Ghosts.
Incorrect.
I think that wasn't
Yeah.
2007 either.
That's a good guess. But
That's the only thing I know. Tony Shalhoub from horror.
All right. Nobody that lasts more than. I have no idea.
Joe's the title of Joe's sex tape.
How about another tagline? Enjoy your stay.
Ooh, is it
Tony
I don't know,
Shalhoub.
The Shining, like the remake?
No.
Okay.
Enjoy your stay. Hold on, let me get one. Is Tony Shalhoub in Vacancy?
Incorrect.
I have no idea.
Enjoy your stay. Enjoy your stay.
Well, based on the terrifying novel by Stephen King was the other tagline, starring Samuel L. Jackson and John Cusack. The
Dreamcatcher?
movie
1408?
is 1408,
Oh, 1408, that's right.
Gosh,
which
damn it.
Todd gave a whopping 1 star.
It sucks, dude. I stand by
I
it.
like 1408.
And I
I'm a
listened to
fan.
the audiobook the first time I went to Salem. Oh man, it was awful.
Yeah, I thought the
audiobook.
movie's solid.
No,
Yeah.
the movie's
Read it,
okay, but it was Stephen King.
Oh, he's terrible.
He's
Like,
Oh, he
terrible.
narrated it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine you
He
being a
always
good
does
narrator.
like he always really upsells his main accent, and I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Like he would do scary sound, and he's just like, "Ee,
Right.
ee," and my wife and I were laughing. Like, God damn. All
The
right,
door creaked open. Eee.
right. Guess the movie by the Did You Know section on IMDb.
Okay.
This is trivia.
Hmm.
Hemingford Home is not only the residence of Mother Abigail Fremantle in The Stand, but also the adult home of architect Ben Hanscom in It. This is the third movie to be set in Hemingway's home.
Doctor Sleep.
Wrong.
Fuck.
Ooh,
Too
you're load early.
Too early.
All right. Quotes. Henry James. I can't pray now or ever again. I think if I got down on my knees, God would strike me dead. I hope there is no God. I imagine all murderers hope there isn't, because if there's no heaven, then there's no hell.
Damn it.
Goofs. It's a factual error. Bit of a giveaway, if you ask me. The various currencies found around the house are small $20 bills. They were only made after 1929. All the currency should have been large size notes, not in terms of denominations, but physical size. And finally, so it's another trivia because the crazy credits was like a nothing. This will be the main actor's third starring role based on the works of Stephen King. So I'm not going to name the actor because it's too easy.
Interesting. You got anything, Todd?
You guessed, so you have to wait for you.
I know. I don't. I'm
You
asking.
have nothing?
I got nothing.
Is it The Green Mile?
Wrong.
I'm assuming it's horror, right?
It is.
Okay. I mean, so it takes place in some sort of
Old time
manner of some type.
Old time-ish, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Stephen King.
You guys give up?
Yeah.
So this was Thomas Jane's.
Salem's Lot.
Nope. It was Thomas Jane's third role in a Stephen King film.
1923?
1922. Yeah.
22?
Did we watch
I haven't
that?
seen that one.
I don't think I've seen that one either.
Oh, really?
No.
That sucks.
Wait,
That's good.
you know
It
what?
sucks. Yeah.
I thought we did watch it. I thought
Is that the one? Is that the one where they're in the corn or something?
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
yeah,
then
but
I did watch that one.
That wasn't 1922 though. That was
Not
Oh,
something
in the
else.
tall
Remember they
grass.
come across like a bowling alley.
in the
or something.
tall grass. That's the
right,
one. Yeah, that's the one I've seen.
It was
I don't
around
think
the
I've
same
seen
time
22.
too. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I've
that
seen that
one
one.
it's not good.
either. All right. Last but not least here. I'm going to need the full title of this film. What is the third film in the Urban Legend franchise?
Bloody Mary.
Correct.
Yeah. You're on fire today.
Yeah,
It's coming
baby.
alive. It's coming alive.
Alrighty. 3 letterboxed reviews. Let's see if you can guess the movie. Number 1. I didn't know growing corn was such a fucked up process.
Oh, I know. It's Secret Window.
Correct.
Wow. Sheesh.
I thought maybe a Children of the Corn reference. I thought maybe you guys would go that way with it, but good job.
Okay, so my last one, regular question.
Mhm.
In which movie does Stephen King have a cameo in for the very first time?
Ooh.
So what was his first cameo? And I will give you
Creepshow
a
1?
hint.
Oh, my bad.
I'll
Strike it from the record.
Yeah, strike for the record. I'll give you
It's
a
not
hint.
Creepshow 1.
It's not a Stephen King story.
Oh,
Okay.
so it's not a Stephen King movie.
Interesting.
It's not a Stephen King movie. No.
Interesting.
Let's go with Silence of the Lambs.
Wrong.
He's definitely been in
I know
stuff
Romero's
way
in that
before
one,
that.
but,
I'll give you
Oh,
another
yeah,
hint
that's 90s,
after.
huh? I fucked up. Alright.
Yeah, I'll take a hint.
Do you want to guess first? Because Todd guessed, or do you have no?
What? No, I have no clue.
Okay, so I'll give you guys a hint. I'll give you 2 hints actually, just to make it a lot easier. 1, it's a non-horror movie,
Okay.
but 2, he was on set for a horror reason.
Okay.
His first time in a film.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We get a year or like a decade.
It's in the 80s,
80s.
80s.
which I mean, yeah, and he started writing in the late 70s. So
Right.
you guys give up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no guess.
It is George A. Romero's Night Riders. He was on set because they were also writing Creepshow during filming.
I love that.
What does he come up in Night Riders? It's been a while.
He's in the audience with his wife Tabitha King.
Oh, cool.
He's like a goofy kind of
Goof himself.
guy. Yeah, they show him a lot. He's just like, yeah, basically He's almost playing like Jody Verrill before. Just
Mhm.
like
Man, I hate fucking Jody Verrill. So he's awful.
Come on.
Come on. He's
Come
nice.
on.
Come on. He's like, is
Come
that it?
on. That is it.
All right. Steve and Joe, both with the bigger night of 2 apiece. Myself 1, which brings us to myself in the lead still with 8. Steve 6, Joe 4 for quarter number 1. Mini Men's
Alrighty.
game. Mini Men's
yeah,
game.
closer now.
Any mins.
It was
Let's do
bad
it,
after
then.
that first week. It was like 6-1-1 or after
Yeah.
2 weeks or whatever.
Mhm. Alrighty. Well, stay tuned, folks, as trivia heats up. But in the meantime, let's get into it. Our main event of the evening, 2007's The Mist, directed by Frank Darabont, starring Thomas Jane, Marcia Gay Harden, Laurie Holden, and Andre Brower. Plot: a freak storm unleashes a species of bloodthirsty creatures on a small town where a small band of citizens hole up in a supermarket and fight for their lives. Kind of worded weird there, Todd. So let's do better, IMDb.
Let's do better.
So Todd, why don't you give us
Okay.
the plot synopsis?
I'll give
for
it
this
the
one?
old college try here. All right, we start off. Thomas Jane is a famous artist. He makes movie posters. So we see The Thing. We see Gunslinger that he's working on. He's got a small child. He's got a wife. And then the storm rolls through, right? Fucking knocks out his studio. He wakes up in the morning. Everyone's safe, but hey, the power's knocked out. We can't call anybody. What the hell? Yeah, he goes over to his neighbor's house who they had a property disagreement in the book, like his neighbors is like this high class lawyer. Well, in the movie too, and he always has this chip on his shoulder, like the locals don't like me, blah blah blah. So they both agreed to go down to the local supermarket to get some supplies for the family. But they noticed like on the lake, like, hey, there's fucking mist. Like, what's that about? I don't know. Let's go to the supermarket anyway. So they go. They're doing their shopping. They kind of bury the hatchet a little bit. He takes his son with them, and they're hanging out. And then the mist like keeps getting like weirder. Cop cars are going by, fire department, all that stuff. And then this dude runs in like, "There's something in the mist." He's all bloody and shit. Some people believe him, some don't. One guy's like, "Fuck it, I'm going out there." Blood curdling scream, things like that. So things start escalating, right? We have a generator on in the grocery store that is spewing out, CO2 emissions, right? So it's kind of clogged up. Thomas Jane's like, "Dude, we shouldn't go out there, man. Like, I heard a fucking noise." He's like, "No one heard a noise. You're fucking big city boy with your poster making artistry. We're gonna go handle it like some good old boys do, right?" Fucking Norm, this like 16-year-old punk kid, he's like, "I'm tough." Calls Thomas Jane a pussy under his breath, and he goes outside just to get snatched by some terrible CGI tentacles. And eventually he is killed. And then they're like, "Shit, we're dealing with some stuff." But no, it's not enough to prove it to everybody else. The high class lawyer from next door is like, "Man, Thomas Jane, you think I'm an idiot because I don't live here? You're just making a joke. We're gonna go on a mission. We'll fuck off. We'll be fine." They're not going to be fine though. They die. We'll leave it at that. And we follow the characters as Miss Carmody. She's a local annoying lady. She's preaching, saying that, hey, it's the end of times. You're all sinners. So they start having little splinter groups in the grocery store. We have some soldiers that are there because nearby, the Arrowhead Project is a little base, right? It starts like floating around that the soldiers were doing some experimentation. Maybe they had a portal into another world. I don't know. We'll see. So we got soldiers. We got Carmody. We have Thomas Jane. We got a teacher. We got the butcher. We got everybody, and they start arguing, and eventually they need to figure out what to do next. Saw it in the drive-in theater actually when it came out, so that was a cool memory. Overall, I like it. Is the ending absolutely brutal? Hell yeah, one of the worst endings of all time. Very hard to get through, but I do have major issues with it that we'll discuss later. I think the film is a little bit too long, but I really love how they filmed this. They actually filmed use a crew from the Shield TV show, so they're able to shoot it a lot faster, and you can tell like it's kind of like a TV style. But overall, I really like this film. And what do you guys think?
Yeah, I remember seeing this in theaters for sure when it first came out. And I've seen it like here and there, like it's on TV a lot. I feel like so I've watched it quite a bit here and there, but I haven't sat down and watched it in probably a solid 5 or 6 years. And I love this one. I've always thought it was really great. Yeah, I mean, the CGI isn't great, at parts here, but at other times, I feel like it's not that bad. Like, either. Like, I think the biggest issue is definitely that first view of the CGI with the tentacles coming into the loading dock, but like then I think it gets better. Like I think, you know, the with the locusts and the sort of pterodactyl type things that come into the store, I think those looked a little better. And then towards the end, when we get into like the really great ones that you kind of see faintly in the fog, which was the right choice to make, you know, and you can't see them as well, I think that's when it's probably its most effective and creepiest. I think this movie does a great job of, you know, for a movie, it's over 2 hours, but I never really found myself bored. Like, I feel like it does a pretty good job of always keeping you interested in what's happening, whether it be sort of the, you know, the sort of I guess social issues that come forth in the supermarket between people or just the monsters outside, you know. And then of course we, you know, when we get to the ending, that's a whole discussion in and of itself. But yeah, I mean, I've always thought this one was great. I still think it holds up really well today. And yeah, I think it's one of the better King adaptations out there.
Yeah, I also saw this in theaters the first time, and I remember it vividly because I remember the reaction of the audience I was with when that ending hit. It was fucking dead quiet. I've only had that reaction twice in a theater where people were just in their seats quiet as the credits started rolling, and it was this movie, and then the other one was an Inception, and it was just we were shocked by what we had seen, and that always kind of left, you know, kind of memory of me. I think it's one of the most brutal endings of all time in a good way, in a way, you know. And yeah, and I wasn't sure how the movie would hold up after, you know, 7 years since I've probably seen it last, and I think it does a lot, like very well. I really enjoyed watching it. It's got a huge variety of creatures. It's not just like one creature that's attacking. There's constantly different situations happening because there are so many people in this store, which is also rare for a movie like this. Usually when people are stuck in somewhere, it's always like a small group of 5 to 10 people at most. There's a lot of people in the store, which really created a lot of different dynamics. Now, of course, they only focus on certain ones, but it just made it feel more real to me that there were that many people in the store at the same time. And it was interesting to see like what side people would fall on, what the reasoning is for falling on that side, how they would deal with the monsters, like the different ideas to come up. And you see a lot of parallel with real life, you know, like the way people think and the way people segregate themselves from each other for different religious reasons or political reasons or whatever. And I thought it was a really interesting like character treatment and to see how things you know, how people think, and I thought it was great. Honestly, I there's a lot to love about it. The horror was more than I remembered as well. There are a lot of kills in this. They're interesting. They like talk enough about what's going on, but not so much that it's unbelievable, like too unbelievable. Yeah, I think there's just a lot of great stuff about it. Now, is it a perfect movie? No. Like Todd said, I think it is a little long at times, and some like storylines that go on, I think could have been cut or could have been maybe trimmed down or changed or things like that. But overall, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie.
Yeah, I want to go back to the beginning with Norton. He's definitely me when a lawn tool doesn't work. Cocksucker, fuck. He's trying to start up his chainsaw. I remember one time I was weed eating and the fucking weed eater, like the line got fucked up or something. And I'm like, motherfucker. And I turn around, there's like these like two kids, like 5 years old on their little scooters. I'm like, sorry. But I thought that was really funny. And then when Norm gets attacked, I love the little final fuck you to him where he gets pulled out and he hits his head on the door. I'm like, this guy's suffering enough. Let's knock him on the head real quick. I just love that little bonus little hit he gets.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about it with this movie. So let's just start, I guess, right at the beginning. So I like that he has like a movie. I don't know, it's like movie marketing, I guess, is what he does. Now, I was curious why The Thing was back there. Is he working on the remake, maybe? Which is, I guess,
Yeah, it's a
possible. The
pleasure
remake
piece.
came out in
Yeah, it's a pleasure
2011.
piece.
Maybe it was a tease for the Dark Tower as well, like for
I think it's like a parallel about aliens, right? Like 'cause
maybe.
this movie has the aliens like in it, so I just felt like it was sort of like a
Are
nod to
they? Are
that.
they? Would you call them aliens?
I would, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they are,
So
right?
what?
Because they said it's
Yeah,
a portal to like another
like another
dimension.
dimension, yeah.
Mm,
It's basically
So
the
there, it's
Stargate,
like
right?
it's a mix.
yes.
I'd say it's a mixture of like monsters.
As
They're like
creatures.
aliens, but they're like creatures that came from like another like universe. So I guess you would call them aliens.
Well, when I think universe, I think like in space terms, or a parallel dimension, which I thought it doesn't fucking matter, honestly.
Yeah,
Let's move along.
I love how fucking nonchalant he is about the tree going into his house and
It's like
destroying his
fuck.
fucking boathouse. He's just like, all right, I'll go to the store and I'll get something to tape up
Get
the
some
window. Like,
spaghettios.
yeah, like he's totally like not at all rattled by this. I don't know if there's something that happens often in his neighborhood where people it's like a place where they get twisters and shit. But yeah, I thought maybe he should freak out a little bit more with this situation. But I kind of get it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you made a good point. It's a really cool ensemble because even small characters get some kind of little bit of story, like we know who the butcher is by his actions. We know who the good old boys are because of their actions. So it's like they do a very good job of having a lot of characters, but not like oversaturating it where you're like, who the fuck is this? I think personally you could have done without the little soldier slash ring girl, whatever you call her, shopkeep, whatever.
Mm. Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
thing.
the cashier that like is in
Yeah,
love with
yeah,
the soldier. Yeah.
right. He's first of all, those three are fucking pussies. Like, get up and help put
Seriously, right? Like they don't help
dog
at all.
food. You guys are in peak physical condition. You fucking assholes, get up there. But fuck them. Like, I good riddance to him getting stabbed and sacrificed at the end. I don't care. But what? Yeah. So we got the misc rolling in. We got monsters. Like, where do you guys stand? Like, are you guys being like, oh yeah, 100%, I'm on Thomas Jane's team, or are you like more of like, let me get more evidence?
I would have thrown more than a can of peas. Like, let me put it that way. Like, she would not have survived much longer in that movie.
Yeah.
I'm definitely on Thomas. The practical side, I think, is where it goes to. Now, I don't say that people who are religious, like, it's not, a good thing. Like, if you need solace in God, that's totally
Yep.
your thing. But to start dictating like sacrifice and
Yeah.
all that kind of shit is where I draw the line. When you start affecting my shit, is where I think it gets a little too far. Now, if you want to pray, that's your thing. Just I go on the practical side. It's how can we get out of this situation? How can we like barricade this place and how try to figure out a way out? So I would be on Thomas Jane's side in that regard.
Why? My question is like, why are they in such a rush to get the fuck out of there? Because like they had all the supplies and stuff like that. Like, why were you like trying to
Probably their
find salt?
family members, are out
I mean,
there. Like
I
the
mean, I
girl
get
said, like her kids are
right.
home alone, and I feel for her. And she's like, "There's no fucking gentleman's gonna take a lady home." And everyone's like,
I'm
"No."
fucking not going out there. No, fuck
I
her,
that
man. I ain't
in
going out there either.
in this movie, that's where I would have died. In this movie,
You would have took her.
I would have been like, "All right, if I don't
Yeah.
have a kid with me, sure." And then I
Why?
would have
You,
been
you know
fucking
what
eaten.
though? No, you wouldn't.
Why?
Because she lives.
How?
Yeah,
She's
we don't know.
She's no, yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
see that
She's the one.
we'll get into that, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that is one of the biggest fucking plot holes of this entire movie. Like, there's no fucking way. Every single other person that went out there, like, died or ran back into the supermarket.
Thomas Jane didn't die.
Tom, yeah, he made it to the car. If her car was close, I think she could have made it.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
remind
Well, but she didn't
me what
drive.
you're
I
talking
thought.
about,
I
though.
thought she was looking for a walk home. I thought she walked there.
Yeah, just to remind Todd, Thomas Jane sees her on the bus that the military is,
At the end.
Oh, I didn't.
and she's
Yeah.
got her
Okay.
two kids
With her
on, like,
kids.
yeah, with her
Wow.
kids. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it makes sense because it's early on, and the creatures wouldn't be all like fucking around yet.
And
That's
yeah,
true,
they have a lot
maybe.
of like victims to attack at that point. It's
Yeah.
like they got
Mhm.
plenty of food. Where later,
So I
Yeah.
would have
guess they're
lived.
folk.
Awesome.
See,
Fuck
I
you
think I
guys.
would have died too, because like I mean I think I would have went out like right away too. I'm
too.
like, well, fuck, like I would have been that guy who's like, fuck this, and like ran out to his car and got fucking destroyed. I'd been like, fuck yeah, I would have tried. I mean, obviously, like the longer you stayed there, you kind of know. But yeah, I mean, I feel like man, like you have all the. I guess I could understand like the people who wanted to go to their loved ones or something like that, but I just think it was you have like a almost what, like maybe fucking months and
Yeah.
months supply of food, water, perishables and shit like that. Like, what is your big fucking rush to get out there? Like, I would wait it out, man. Like, I would wait it out for a while and see and hope that either some sort of rescue is coming
Mhm.
or you just know you're totally fucked and nothing's ever gonna happen. And then, I'd probably go the Thomas Jane route in the end, or
Just say fuck
the
it.
other people and just fucking die. Or that one lady who OD'd on prescription
Sleeping pills,
drugs there. Yeah.
well, I guess that's Norton, right? Norton had like a power trip and he's like, I have to be right. I'm above all these locals.
Right.
But here's the thing that bothers me, and I don't know if maybe I missed a key like feature point or something. But like when the dude goes out and he has like a blood curdling scream, right? In the beginning, everyone in that store witnesses that, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so it drives me nuts when the two guys go back in the back room with Thomas Jane and the stock boy, and they ridicule him about hearing a noise, but they all just witnessed a dude potentially being murdered. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I'm like, are they willfully forgetting that? Or is that a plot hole? Or did I miss something that explains why they're being fucking assholes?
I mean, they didn't see anything, so I think it's more just like denial of what is happening yet. Like you don't fully know. Like, yeah, you heard the guy scream, but we don't know like if he died or if like maybe
Good
something
point.
else happened. So yeah, I mean, I could see what like I probably would have been one of the ones to be like, oh, let me run out there and I'll clear the shit. But like also like I wouldn't have because they even say like that generator doesn't matter. I forget why the generator didn't matter. They were but they were like, we don't even need it. Because I think it was because they said the perishables or the cold will still, keep good for a while. But if you are gonna be stuck there for months, I mean you definitely want that generator working and having that cold shit,
Yeah.
for
Well,
cold for as long as you want.
what I didn't get is Norton. So they say they have a tentacle like piece in the back room, and he won't even like go back there. He won't walk 20 feet to go like, okay, let's just see if this is true. No, he totally just denies it. He's so right, so sure that he's right. He's just like, no, fuck you guys, it's wrong. And that was weird. But that's also kind of society too, right? It's like they don't want to make the effort to actually do the research and spew, whatever people say. And that's it's weird. But that's how it is.
Why do you think like Marcia Gay Harden goes like full crazy though? Like, do you think it's just because like she saw like she was able to get like she was kind of unhinged anyway? Like, because
Is
all
that
he
Miss
even
Carmody?
mentions Miss Carmody. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, they mentioned that she's like the town weirdo.
Right. So do you think just because like she started seeing she had people started getting people on her side, she knew she could but like why sacrifice like she just didn't seem like a type that would be like crazy enough to sacrifice people. But I guess if she is like fucking unhinged, like sacrificing people would make sense to her. I don't know. It's
Well,
weird because obviously she's like a super religious freak. Like you see her
mhm.
sort of praying to herself in the bathroom at that one point and stuff like that. But I just don't understand. Like, why do you feel like the need to be sacrificing people? Like, what is the benefit of that? I
I
guess
thi-
maybe I missed that point, that
well,
part.
she does reference the Bible with Abraham
Right.
sacrificing his son.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's like, well, I mean, with these people, whether it's religion or politics or whatever, it's like if you have a strong belief to the point of like craziness, you'll find any justification. Like, yeah, I'm right. See, I'm right.
Right.
So I think she's just using that, like, got power drunk off it, dude. Because the weak-minded people in the store, like the dude, one of the dudes, the good old boys, was like jubilation or whatever the fuck he said over and over again.
Right.
But she just got power hungry, man. Went to her head, and she's like, "I'm right, you're wrong."
So I got
Mm-hmm.
a question for you guys. There's a scene where those like scorpion fucking flying things are attacking the store, and
Yeah.
it goes right on her, and it kind of crawls
Yes.
up her, but then it spares her and goes away. It does that to no one else in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Pure coincidence and a great a plot point like to set a plot point in motion, because she says they're coming and stuff, so that that Locust deciding not to sting her and kill her in that moment makes her seem like she is like the chosen one, which makes other people sort of buy in to her bullshit. But like in my opinion, it's just pure an utter coincidence that the thing didn't sting her in that moment and went away. So yeah, I just think it was to set that sort of plot in motion to gain more followers for her.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, you'll have a bee land on you outside, and just you look at it and it flies away, and it might
Right.
sting the next person. You don't know why. So yeah, but she definitely needed that, and that kill of that girl though was freaking brutal when it stabs you in
Great.
the neck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a brutal way to go for sure. That whole scene. Did you think the CGI was bad? I know you mentioned the CGI was
I
shitty most
I
throughout.
did. I thought it
Yeah.
was pretty rough, especially in the beginning. It did get a little better, and I agree. Like show the stuff in the mist
Mm-hmm.
vaguely, and I think it's more effective than showing like the spiders like jumping around, and you're like,
Yeah.
Personally, I thought it was pretty rough.
I thought these were cool. Like this scene was cool in general. Like when, like man, that one William Sadler's character just fucking. Why is he turning on all the lights in that situation?
Seriously?
I didn't fully understand why the fuck he's running around when everyone's like screaming, just turning on every fucking light in the place. But that was great, man. And those things are creepy, man. Like the locusts are creepy in and of itself, but those fucking massive, like pterodactyl creature flying things, man. That's when I would be like, man, we are fucked. Like when because before that you really didn't see anything too crazy. Like even the big locust, you're like, oh shit, that's fucking wild. But once I started seeing those other things, and man, like once again, like maybe a bit of a stretch, man, because I feel like when that window broke, way more of those things would have fucking flown in. I don't know how they were able to keep them all out, and because I feel like it would have been pure pandemonium, and there's no way they would have like been able to seal that off without a million of those locust things flying in.
Oh yeah, I would have been swarmed.
Yeah,
But
they would have been fucked.
how about the lady that can't summon enough strength to pull back a 4-year-old boy when the fucking flying creature is walking towards them, and then
Right,
like the,
yeah,
the
yeah. She's
dude,
like,
the assistant
"No!"
manager's gonna shoot, but he can't.
Right.
Come on. It's funny. Fun fact in the book, Thomas Jane bangs
Oh,
the blonde.
Lori
Lori Holden, yeah.
Lori Holden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Did not
Smashes.
know that. Yeah. The next, I guess, big like sort of action sequences after that when they do go to which I mean, it was a great scene, but I feel like if we're gonna cut anything out of this movie, maybe the spider scene when they go to the pharmacy. Like this movie is over 2 hours long. So I guess if you're gonna cut anything, I would maybe cut that just because we did have the action sequence with the locusts and the flying things. It is still a great scene though. It's really cool to see the spiders with they have like sort of a, I don't know, like a radioactive web that like burns your skin
Yeah,
on
acid web.
contact. Yeah,
That's
like which
cool.
was that was pretty cool. And just like when the dude fucking falls and all the spiders come out of it's definitely like a send chills down your, especially if you have like a fear of spiders type scene. But I don't feel like it really added anything as far as like to the plot or anything like that. It's more of just another sort of creepy sort of crawly scene. But I think we could have cut this down to an hour and a half if we wanted to.
I kind of disagree because what I liked about that scene is it's the first time you get out of the store in the movie, like after they get trapped in it. So it just breaks up the monotony of being inside that store. It also sets in motion William Sadler's turn from being kind of on Thomas Jane's side to the religious side. And it's also where they find the MP who starts kind of the motion of the military is knew about this and are ultimately the ones who caused it, which is what brings us to the end of the movie. So I think it was important of a scene. Now, what I thought was funny in that scene, which they do a lot in a lot of movies, is okay, you big actor, you big actor, you big actor, come with me, and you three randos, you come with me too. And then you're just like, oh yeah,
the red shirts.
the red shirts are coming in, and you know exactly what's going to happen. But I love that scene because it gave us yet another variation of the creatures. It gave us the spider creatures, and they were terrifying in their own way. This would make a great fucking game. Like they need to. It's almost like, I guess, Silent Hill because of the mist and everything. But to have like a monster game with just all these crazy monsters, it'd be fucking cool, because I think that was one of the best things about this movie is the variety of creatures. It wasn't always the same creature attacking, and they seemed to get like worse and worse as the movie went on, which was really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what would you have done in the situation? Would you have been like what Ollie? So Ollie decide, we get to that scene with Miss, is it Dormady? Is that her name? Miss
Carmody.
Dormady? Miss Carmody, the religious zealot. She decides they want to leave, and she's like, "You're not leaving. We're gonna fucking sacrifice your son." They want to grab the son.
Boom! Shoot her in
Ollie,
the fucking head.
Yep.
shoot her in the head. Would you guys
Hell
agree
yeah.
with that
Fuck
situation?
her.
I mean, right?
Mhm.
What else are you gonna do with that? I mean, I guess you don't need to, right? I guess you could have tied her up, but she had so many followers in that moment. I think really the only thing you could do in that situation was kill her.
We already know what she's capable of, and she
Right.
led the mob to stab the soldier
Right.
like 14 fucking times and sacrifice him, and the butcher's
Right.
got is behind you, and I think you got to shoot her and start shooting anybody, because then that you just need to get out at that point because everyone's fucking lost their minds.
Mm-hmm.
But I did want to talk about the son real quick. Props. He's a good actor, like the kid, and he could have easily like fucking annoyed everybody, but no, he was good. And he actually alludes to the ending too. He talks to the soldiers and he tells them like, "Can't you guys just get your friends to come rescue us, like with tanks and stuff?" And that's exactly what fucking happens in the end. If Thomas Jane just would have fucking taken his earplugs out and listened. But yeah, I love the spiders. It was really cool. I love when he falls and it like bursts open and they start coming out. That's spiders always fucking gross, and they're little web shooters. It's really dope.
Yeah. Also, a little like key dad moment there, which I really loved, and it's such a quick moment, but I thought it was a nice touch. Is when he goes to the stores, the first thing he sees is a comic book stand, and he quickly grabs one, puts it in his pocket. That's like dad of the year right there, you know? It's like crazy situation, but he's still thinking of his son. Like, I need to find something to entertain him. So I thought that was a nice like little touch that I guess most people would miss because it's so quick.
Yeah, I like that too.
All right. Well, I
So
guess
they
it's
escape,
time.
yeah.
It's time to get to the ending, right? I guess. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they they make their escape. They get in the car, and they
Bunch of people die in the parking lot.
right, and they encounter like crazy shit on their ride. This is where I think the movie shines monster design wise, because you don't see them, as clear as you do some of the other ones, but just the monsters, you have one that's fucking towering, like, it's got to be fucking 100 feet tall or whatever, just walking around, kind of looks like a woolly mammoth type thing, but with like 10 legs. Very Lovecraftian, honestly. Like it had like a bunch of tentacles and shit like that, and just like other like sort of crazy shit along the way. They run out of gas.
Yeah, one thing before that though,
Yeah.
that was I thought was really tragic is he actually goes home first,
Right, home first,
and
yeah.
and finds his wife webbed up against the window that broke because she ended up trying to fix it herself because I guess he was taking too long.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the first of many tragic things to happen in this ending. So that was pretty crazy.
Well, maybe if he didn't go home, they would have survived because he would have had more gas to keep driving.
Right,
I don't know. But I don't blame him. I think I would have went home too to see if my wife, or whoever was still there. But yeah, they run out of gas and seems like all hope is lost. Like, the fog has not cleared up. And yeah, he's got a gun, 4 bullets, 5 people. And they decide, I'm gonna shoot the 4 of you, and I will figure it out along the way. And probably one of the most shocking, I would say, scenes in probably a mainstream movie. From what I heard, Darren bought this is a complete change from the original source material, if I'm not mistaken. Stephen King himself said he loved this ending, and from what I heard, Darren Bott said he wouldn't direct the movie unless they gave him this ending. This was Darren Bott's decision to do this ending this way. But yeah, he fucking massacres the 4 people in the car there, which is his son, his young son, Laurie Holden's character,
teacher,
the blonde, the teacher, and then the 2 older people, Jeffrey DeMunn is his name from Walking Dead as well.
Dale.
And the old bat with the glasses, Dale, and then the old lady with the glasses shoots the 4 of them. And yeah, he fucking just is, distraught, tries to kill himself, even though there's no more bullets, just fucking tries to unload an empty chamber on himself, screaming, goes out, fucking mist clears, fucking a few minutes later, and here are the tanks, and the mist has cleared, the army has come in, has saved everybody. We don't ever see the people in the supermarket saved, but we are to assume that everyone in the supermarket as well has been saved. But we do see, like Steve had mentioned earlier, Carol from Walking Dead, her character who, wanted her way out, who was looking for people to kind of walk her out. She did end up surviving with her 2 kids, and you see a bunch of other survivors along the way, and fade to credits. I mean, I don't know. You guys can take it over. I'll give you my initial thoughts when I first saw this, and kind of, I guess, like why I guess they decided to go with such a mean-spirited ending. I think it's a really interesting choice.
Yeah. So the first thing in that whole sequence that really fucking just wow is his son wakes up right before he's about to get shot, which he had to actually look in his son's eyes as he shot him in the head, which is just like, what the fuck. And I love Thomas Jane's reaction to all this. Like, he is just distraught beyond belief, tries to shoot himself, but of course there's no bullets left. He is at complete like despair, right? So he essentially decides to sacrifice himself by having the monsters kill him outside of the car. Now I told you guys offline, I don't think I said it during the episode, but I must have watched this in a multiverse because there's a Mandela effect for me. I remember this ending completely differently than how it happened. Now, of course, I remembered them getting shot and him coming out of the car and everything, but I did not remember that the religious woman was killed. I thought she lived. I thought they just left, kind of the religious group behind. And I thought that the bus that you see driving by was all the people from the supermarket that like had he just stayed an extra 6 hours or whatever, he would have lived. And that to me was even more of a fuck you ending, because not only did he just kill his people, but then all the people he hated survived. So I totally didn't remember that it was Carol that survived and everything. But it's like such a fuck you ending in the sense that not only did he kill his family, but then they get saved like who knows how long after. We don't get a timestamp, but it presumably almost right after. It's just wow, the feelings he must have gone through. And that epic score throughout that whole drive actually was just awesome. And I think it was the wise choice. Not a lot of movies have the balls to do this, and the ones that do, we tend to remember. People talk about the fuck you endings. Usual Suspects, this Arlington Road. People remember the fuck you endings because people don't have the balls to do them. And I think had they not done that ending, it's still a good movie, but I don't know if we'd be reviewing it today because it might have just gotten lost in the shuffle of movies in the 2000s. So I think it was a wise ending and one I'll never fucking forget.
Yeah, so I mirror what you guys said. It's a very powerful ending. His anguish, his fucking raw emotion that he portrays, it's hard. It's brutal, especially as a father seeing that too. My issue with it though is like there needed to be a time jump, in my opinion, because there's zero. Like he shoots him, he cries, he gets out of the truck, and then the fucking army shows up. That ending by itself is just ridiculous to me, right? If they would have had like it fucking cuts to night and we know he's been sitting there outside and nothing's killed him yet, then the army comes. I'll all right, cool. I'm behind it. This is, I understand, a giant nitpick. It's a fucking movie. It's not real life. But I served in the fucking unit that had tanks, armored personnel carriers, and infantry. And I was an infantryman, right? So tanks literally rumble the ground around you. There's no fucking missing those. They had air support. They had helicopters coming in, which when you're around those, you cannot hear a single fucking thing. They're so loud. APCs, big old fucking diesel engines, things like that. And then men just fucking having a good time shooting bugs out of the air. So I cannot forgive it because you get outside, you're going to feel it, you're going to hear it. Your car you're in is going to be shaking like a fucking T-Rex is walking up on you. So like that, I understand. Once again, it's a giant nitpick, but I just can't forgive it without a time jump. So it knocks it down for me. And I get it's a shocking ending. And I personally, as a dad, would not do that. I think I would just get out on foot and go from there. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that personally. But yeah, it's stupid. Time jump. I'm on board. No time jump. Go fuck yourself.
But could it be that he was so distraught that he just didn't like think about it? Because I mean, he just saw he just saw his son,
because
his
before
side
that,
piece, and like the two people, right? Like I think he was so distraught and in his own mind that he just wasn't thinking about the military, like whatever sound. He just thought it was the monster.
No. Before that, though, but before that, you would be hearing and feeling this stuff, right? And is your argument that before he kills everybody, he just assumes that they're monsters? I can definitely believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But
because they even like
I
come across them, right? We don't know how loud those monsters are. We don't know like what their situation is.
They don't sound like cars though.
I don't know.
I think
know. Yeah.
I get I get
what you're saying, of course, because I mean there's a lot of fucking tanks and shit too. It's not
there's a full fucking armies coming, dude. The Abrams themselves are giant fucking machines, and it's like they're shooting those fucking cannons off of those giant creatures. So I don't know, whatever. That's just my personal nitpick with it.
Yeah.
It's a great fucking ending and it's powerful, and hats off to them for pulling off, because gosh damn, that's one. I mean, like you said, one of the most talked about endings of all time. Period.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's where this movie became so divisive. Like it's such a love it or hate it type movie, and I think this ending is the big reason why you're either gonna love the ending or you're gonna hate it. I remember loving it when it ended the first time I ever saw it in the theaters. I was like, wow, it just the movie has balls, like Steve said. Like, not a lot of movies have the balls these days, especially a mainstream movie, like a movie that got a major theater release and stuff like that. And just the mainstream. Obviously, as horror fans, we are used to a lot of mean spirited movies and stuff like that. But I think just the casual moviegoer going to see this probably was shocked. I dug it. I dug the hell out of it. Looking now that we are, we review movies and really dissect them, watching it this time, my thought process changed a little. I still think it's a great ending, but now I tend to think like why? Like why? Like what is the point of this ending? What is the director trying to say with it, at the end of the day? And it's like, is the theme, we are our own worst enemy type thing? Or is it patience is virtue? Or is it just as simple as there's doesn't need to be an explanation and it's just he wanted to just make it a dark, sort of mean-spirited ending?
Personally, I see it as just a shocking for shocking sake kind of ending. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
actually
guess leave
disagree.
it at that.
Okay, I'm gonna say a real life example and just trigger warning. It's not something that's easy to talk about, so fast forward 2 minutes if you don't want to hear this. But it's the choice between burning in a fire or jumping out the building, and that's just the choice you make. Do you want to get killed by those monsters and maybe be tortured, webbed up, have spiders come out of your stomach, or do you take the kind of quicker and less painful way out and die instantly? And I think that's the choice that we're faced with. Some people prefer to go out with the fight. Some people prefer to die, painless. I think that was their choice. And that's, I think it's a real world thing.
So I can agree with that. I can see where you're going with that. The only issue I take with that for this movie personally is all hope technically wasn't lost yet, right? They could, like Todd had mentioned, they could have, gotten out of the car and walked around. Now they had seen it previously that probably not the best way to go. But you still could have, gotten out and fought it. But like you said, I mean, some people just don't want to have that fight in them, and they're just scared, I guess, of what is out there. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting sort of thought process.
Yeah, I think a counterpoint to that too is comparing like a fire to a creature is like you're 100 stories up. You're not fist fighting the fire. You know what I mean? And I understand your comparison. It makes a lot of sense. But like to Joe's point too, like hope is not lost yet. I can see if like they're surrounded and they're out of gas and these creatures are fucking seconds away from getting in, executing your fucking son, which I personally want to do still, but it's like I don't know. The timing is just not good. I think you needed to add a time, like you needed to add something that's pressing, like they have to do it, like you have to make a decision now because at that point there's nothing around. You saw one creature walk by, but that was about it. I don't know. Both points make
Yeah,
sense.
but also they've presented in the movie that every time they go outside, no one really lasted that long before, at the very least, getting attacked, right? So that's I think what their perspective is that, they got a child, two old people, and then, two people who probably could defend themselves. I think they were fucked, and they only had 4 bullets, so they very
What do
few
you
options to live, and I think that's how they saw it, as a despair move.
what are you guys doing in that situation?
I'd
You got your
wait in the
son.
car as long as I could. Honestly, I just hope.
I would have never. I mean, I understand why they had to leave the supermarket. If that never came up, I obviously would have stayed in the supermarket as long as fucking possible. But if I had to go out there, yeah, I think I would have. I mean, I don't think I would have gave up. I don't think I would have, killed myself in that moment. I think I would have found a way, try to find a way. Let's see if we can find another car that starts,
Mm.
or something like that. I definitely wouldn't have taken the easy way out. I don't think I'd have the balls to shoot myself either. Like I would have done the fucking
Well,
the
you didn't. He
prescription.
didn't though. He shot
Well, he shot all
like
them,
the
right?
exact same scenario. You're shooting your son and then 3 other
Oh,
people.
if they all wanted it, because he didn't give his son a choice. He fucking just killed his son. The other three did want to die. So I think I would, if the other three like wanted to die and are like, just do it. I think I would, like, in that scenario, like all hope does seem sort of lost, but I wouldn't have shot my own son. Like, that's for sure. I would have killed the three of them maybe, and then taken my son with me and try to find solace if
Fuck
that's
it,
what they
I'm
really
taking these
wanted.
4 bullets with me. Y'all's fucked.
Yeah,
You're waiting
I
out.
mean, I'm thinking like I just wouldn't have done it. I don't
I
think I
guess put it
could.
in your, I guess put it in context since you guys don't have kids. Like
Mhm.
your wife, Steve, and then Joe, your basically wife. Like
Yeah, no, I mean,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
no, I don't
I
think
couldn't do it.
unless like
your
she was,
cats, Steve.
unless she was like mortally wounded or something like that, obviously. Yeah, no, I don't think I could do it. Unless like it was like you said, like she just like kind of refused to walk or something and just was like, I've given up, like, or whatever. I don't know if I would leave her there to get eaten by the aliens or the monsters, I'd be like,
Yeah,
okay, well, if
this
you're
it's not like a
refusing to
Walking
go.
Dead situation where she got bit and then she's gonna turn anyway, right?
Yeah.
So it's like there's hope.
There,
There's some.
there's no easy answer, and at the end of the day, it's a horror movie that poses a good question, man. Like, what would you do in this situation? Because like we all touched upon, it's like people are fucking nuts, and you never know what you're gonna get. Like the supermarket could have been a safe haven, but no, you have some fucking crackpot like running her mouth, stroking the flames and shit, and that would absolutely happen today. You know what I mean? In the state of the world we live in. So I don't know. It's hard to say what you do, but still pretty good ending, right? What do you think
Yeah.
happens after this? Thomas Jane goes fucking jail.
That was my next question. No, I don't think so, because technically, like, there's no proof he did it, I guess, and I don't think like anyone is out there like, oh, we have to like convict this guy.
He
You know
kills
what I
himself,
mean?
right?
I would think.
Yeah.
I don't think he can live with himself after that. Yeah, I would think he probably kills himself, or he ends up in a fucking psych ward or something like something like that. But I just don't see a happy ending for his character there. I mean, how could you?
Yeah.
Right?
No,
The guilt you'd
absolutely.
have to live with, like, it's just brutal. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Kills
Well,
himself.
pretty depressing, but this movie
Yeah.
is a depressing movie, a very depressing ending, and it's what made it so memorable. So yeah, I guess is that about it, gentlemen? Should we get into rating this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'll start us off. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's a great movie, one of the better. I think you guys are right. Without the ending, I think it's a solid creature feature, but something that's probably more middle of the road. And what sort of makes this movie is that ending, and it's what makes it so sort of forgettable. And yeah, 4 out of 5 for me.
I'm slightly lower at a 3.5 out of 5, but a strong 3.5 out of 5. I think it's still a little bit too long. CGI is a little bit bad, quite a few different parts, and I don't see the logic in the ending. Although I do think the ending is fucking ballsy and kicks ass, I still don't see the logic in it. Even though I know it's a nitpick, the reason why I don't like it. So 3.5 out of 5.
And I'm 4 out of 5 as well. It's a good creature feature, man. There are a lot of creatures, a lot of kills, a lot of attacks. It's a lot of variety, like I said. And the ending is just a cherry on top. It's a rotten cherry, but it's still a cherry on top, and it's one I'll never forget. Yeah, so yeah, I like this one a lot.
And Frank Darabont, man, fucking 3 for 3 on Stephen King adaptations, right?
Dude,
Fucking
he needs to keep
Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, and this one. I mean, he needs to
the
do
best
more,
seasons
I
of Walking
think.
Dead too.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there you go. Underrated director, I think, in a lot of ways here. He hasn't done a lot, but everything he has done has
I
been
got his
fucking
autograph.
gold. Do you?
I do, yeah. He
On what?
So Stephen King, there's a book about Stephen King. It's like people Stephen King has worked with, and a bunch of them signed it, and he was in part of that. So I have him
Cool.
in that book. I'll post a picture on Discord so people can see it.
Nice. Very, very cool. And the audience gives this one a 3.4 currently over on Letterboxd. So, yeah, right about where we are as well.
For the show right now, so
yeah.
Sweet.
So, sweet. All right. Well, I think that is going to be about it then, gentlemen, for this week's episode. Next week, what do we got, Steve?
We're reviewing Congo. So nice 90s film there with Amy the Ape and starring Ernie Hudson. We got Tim Curry, and we also got a little bit of Bruce Campbell. So yeah, that's what we're reviewing next week. Looking forward to it.
Check it out for next week's episode. In the meantime, you can keep up with us on our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. Just search the Horror Squad Podcast. You can email us anytime, the Horror Squad Podcast at gmail.com. But of course, you know it. The absolute best way to keep up with the podcast is our Discord. All you got to do is send us a DM through any of our socials, send us an email, or it's also linked on our Instagram. And you can join our Discord completely free. Amazing community over there. Movie club every month, along with a ton of other stuff. So please join us over on our Discord. Do not forget, important dates coming up, June 7th through the 9th, Living Dead Weekend in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. The entire squad will be there, along with a ton of our listeners as well. It is the official Horror Squad podcast meetup. So if you want to come hang out with us and your fellow listeners, please join us June 7th through the 9th, livingdeadweekend.com for details. And we are doing the 1 p.m. mall tour on that Saturday, so you can join us for that as well. Tickets for that mall tour will probably sell out, so definitely grab those tickets if you do plan on attending. Also, October 11th through the 13th is our Hocus Pocus event in Salem, Massachusetts, which I don't even think we've mentioned this yet. The two mystery guests have been revealed for that. Larry Bagby and Tobias Jelinek, if I'm pronouncing that right. But you know them as
Hollywood.
You know them as the Bullies, Jay and Ernie. So they will be joining.
Call him Ice, Joe.
And Ice, yes. He's not Ernie anymore. He's Ice. They will be joining, of course, the core four from last year. Armory Katz, Jason Marsden, Vanessa Shaw, and Thora Birch, the three main kids, and Binks the cat from them. So we will have 6 guests this year. It's going to be a great weekend in Salem, Massachusetts. That is October 11th to the 13th. It's just a bunch of Halloween.com for all details on that one. Tickets have not gone on sale yet, but they will be on sale very soon. A whole weekend of events planned for that. And merch, don't forget merch, tpublic.com. Just search the Horror Squad podcast and you can find our merch. That's also linked over on our Instagram as well. But a lot of fun designs over there. We are planning more designs hopefully soon, but go and support the podcast there. You can also support the podcast by leaving a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. That would help us greatly. And that's it, folks. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week for It Follows. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.